Hi there, Scott from Wessex Blades. An update to the work that I'm posting off and releasing this week. Up and coming into next week. Plans for the next set of builds. A little bit of a competition, so hang on, stay tuned, and come back to that in a few minutes. Just to let you know where I am moving forward. Sort of ethos, kudos, etc. First up, stuff away to sunny Scotland. We've got the thick CalMax necker that I had from Kylie. So it's some 150mm thick piece of slab, and he was quite happy having that skeletonized. So that's going to get a Kydex sheath in the next day or two, and then away to Mike, hopefully Friday, Saturday. I went really high on the grind on this one. Great in hand, nice choil, a polished sort of section there in the crook of your finger, so you give a bit of a pleasing feel. And as ever, just to double check that yes, it does slice before it's posted. So that the CalMax necker, very nice to grind, quite hard, but the Thor coated it quite well. So more than happy with the result of it. So I've just managed to keep Kylie's CKC, and then there he is, no Spartan helmet on there. You may have noticed I've got some mosaics arrived now from I think his name's Alexei. So they'll be making their mark in the next couple of months. I've got one Merlin I managed to slip in with the batch. It's always my plan is to put one in with something else to try and keep some bread and butter going. So I just got that one going. I might tube pins be interesting for this one. It's a black micarta with a red liner. This one's in 01. So yeah, usual. So I've got 10 DPS on that one with a micro relief edge on it. Quite a high gloss on the bevel, so you get less friction as it's sliding through work, but handle works both ways. I've got slightly less of a cylindrical feel to the handle, so it's ever so slightly coke bottled. You can notice there it's got more of a palm swell of taper. Just playing around with that at the moment, so moving forward to slightly different ergo on Merlins and Galahads. We'll go to the next one. I've got two Pukos, which I'm considering offering up for test. Because I think they deserve a bit of a showcase. Very light feel because they're heavily skeletonized. They're in ball bearing steel, so 52100. The grind at 10 DPS is generally leaner than the average Scandi would be for a sort of basic carbon steel. With 52100, I'm not going to go to a lean Scandi on it. I've put a relief micro bevel on the edge there, you just see it glinting in the light there. So I'll be contacting a few people if they're willing to give it a go. Obviously, you know, stabbing car doors isn't really the plan for them, but it's going to be a full tang Bora, more Halter Force-esque Scandi Puko. It's my Puko design, and I just want to get some feedback on it, because that's one thing I've not really had is feedback on my blades in terms of performance out in the field. It's all well and good me doing it, but you know, I'm over 200 pound. I got some power, and tinkering with noise for as long as I have. It's not that I struggle with anything. I'll just find a way around it. You know, I can't get my mind into solely being bushcraft. I'll just find a way of doing it. So to get some feedback on how this would perform to someone who is uber ecclesiastical bushcrafter would be good. So I'm gonna send a few messages in the next week or two. So I've got that one there with walnut handle, and I've just completely overdone it. So it's gonna have a dangler on it as well. A nice, gone back to my old way of doing the sheaths like this on this fill, because it's quite big in the handle and very narrow in the blade. Spartan tooling on it, not the easiest thing to see in this light, but I'll do some photographs outside at some point. I did a red stitching on this just to sort of bring out the wood a bit, but as I say, stitching on the back is pretty damn neat to marry it with as neat as I possibly can on the front. It's yeah, I like to think that my sheaves have in many ways overtaken my blades, so I'm trying to get it back the other way. So there's moving forward in a few disciplines, so that the as the package claws its way up to something more than most knife makers are offering, I'd like to think. So I've got another one there. I'm just trying to bring my brand forward without being as dyed in the wool, bog standard, middle of the road, what everybody else sort of does. I'm trying to stand on my own. You know, there's that clan and there's that crew, and there's Wessex Blade still on his own in the middle of nowhere. That's the way I am. So my interpretation of a Puukko, again, stabilised walnut, and very light, very light. So let's double check the cutting ability on that one. Usual lousy effect I get, you know. Couldn't cut butter, so that's one with a brown sheath, one with a black sheath. I say the paper cut is just not necessarily, it cuts the space-time continuum, but it's to prove that I'm gliding the cut from there to there, and the bevel is even all the way up. That's all I'm doing on camera. Right, next one. I think it's called a Protean. This is from Kylie, and on its way to Mike. It's got very interesting colours on there at some point. So I managed to keep the CKC on one side and put my Spartan head on the other. Very thin, very lean. Nice choil. It's one of them centrally positioned handles where the blade rises and drops. So interesting profile, so and I went with ebony on this one. He wanted black, so I had a piece that was I had about 10 mil over on terms of the dimensions. Oh, screw that, it's gonna have ebony on that. And I'm playing with having a flat section here, flat-ish, okay, just for the ergo of chest lever grip, so your thumb goes planted. I may even at some point put a hollow grind. I started off on that, but I've decided as I went to do a very, very slight tapering from top to bottom on that, so it's slightly thicker at the top than it is at the bottom, but flattish at the front of the scales. But the ebony sets off the brass quite nice. So black is nearly blue, isn't it? You know, so there's ebony, red liners, polished on the choil, rounded as ever on the thumb section, and then square at the end for the ferrule or bark striking. Sheath on that is the Spartan helmet. You know, just more and more time, double stitched, double lock stitched, all the stitching inside and out. It's grooved down inside. I've rolled with the wheel in order to contour the stitching, so the stitching lies under the surface of the lever, so it doesn't catch and wear out prematurely. Yeah, it's just far too much time on the lever, but you know, you get a wonderful knife. You know, half-hearted sheath, you haven't really got a complete system. So that's the Protean. As I say, it's going from one end of the blade to the other end of the blade. From one end of the blade to the other. Yeah. So that's all that's to prove. It's just, you know, the bevel's even, and it's got a consistent micro bevel on it. And then then we started getting a little bit special. Because the Protean was a sheath that was large enough to take the motif of the Spartan helmet. Once it gets below the size of what a protean would be, i.e. A yeoman is slightly too small a sheath for me to do the Spartan helmet, because I've got to get in the contours of the shadow sections of the helm. So anything from a yeoman down, the motif doesn't work the way I've got the tools of the size I can't get into the nooks and crannies. So what I was left with was a way to try and give a nod to Kylie, or try and give a nod to the New Zealand. So with the next sheath, I tried to be a bit clever. So here's the knife. So there's a CKC at one end and the Spartan helmet at the other. This is a Streamline. It's Kylie's almost flagship model along with the Voyager. So I've slightly rounded the top off to get to. I'm trying not to knock off the guy in many ways. So it's still got a nice hump at the top, but bird's eye maple, just phenomenal character on this wood I've got at the moment. And that's stabilised. Red liner. So with a red liner, I wanted to do a brownish, reddish sort of sheath. Now, obviously, New Zealand, they've just had their possible flag redesign for the work on that. So I've put the New Zealand fern, the silver fern, as a decal on that, as a nod to where the blades come from. And obviously for my hemisphere, birch is everywhere, so it's got characters of north and south on it. So I thought I'd give a nod to New Zealand, and it's got a fern decal on the sheath. Again, double lock stick row, everything skived off, beveled, slick round the edges, edge coated, needs for oil, waxed, outdoor coating, buffed up, the whole 3 day shebang. Yeah, spend a long time on my sheaves, but yeah, it just completes the package, as it were. Now, here's the competition. Now, what I want to offer up is just a little trinket. Being that I'm 8,300 subs, what I want to do is try and offer the Foxbox a few bits and bobs and something I'm going to make for maybe my 9 or 10,000 sub giveaway. I'm trying to break the 10,000 sort of crazy idea that I've got. I've been knocking around the thousands now in terms of YouTube. So what I'm going to do for now, for just a quick down and dirty giveaway, I'm going to finish off this one. It's in U. There's some really nice character on it. So a little ferro rod steel. It'll have a piece of brass lanyard tube on it. It'll have a leather lanyard to go around the neck, and I'll put a striker on it as well. So what I generally sort of pass off for about £20 with the postage. So I'll pay the postage, and I'll want a little bit of a share and everything else for this video in order to do entries for this little sort of competition. Free ferro rods, here we go. On this knife, which is a camp pen knife, again by Kylie from Auckland in New Zealand. So just about caught his decal there, because I'm surface grinding, because they're quite old, these blanks. And there's my Spartan head there. Lovely drop. I thought I can't remove that. It's lovely. So it's absolutely as Kylie would intend this blade shape profile to be. And I put Purple Heart on the scales. Now this Purple Heart I had destined for this knife because of the size way back last year when Mike ordered these. So obviously Mike's been incredibly patient with it. I put a Purple Heart on. Now Purple Heart is a lovely character wood. It's got a nice colour to it. It really sets off the sheath if you get a slightly reddish tinge to the sheath, and yeah, puts a bit of a special note onto the blade, but it's not a wood with a grain like a wych elm. So what I wanted to do was try and set it off, so I thought you'd do some decorative pins. So I've also got the mount pins, and I've got these decorative ones as well. But why have I done that shape is the question. Okay, I'll show you how to do what you think is the answer in a second. So that is the so it's the same profile there as it is there. It's the same profile. Okay, I haven't mirrored it going down on that side and on the other side. It's okay, that's the orientation of the wave shape of those decorative pins, and so that I had something again, because the sheath is too small for the Spartan tooling. I've done that. Okay, so there's the sheath. It's got like sort of round tooled circle on a wavy line again, same shape. So yeah, sheath, usual double lock stitch, hard as, waxed beyond all belief, meets foot the lot. So question is, why did I do that, and what does it represent? Okay, the wave form on there. The clue is, you know, I'm quite scientific. That's, you know, that's the little idea I'm going to shove at you. Now, not to put the answer in the comment section, but if you can email me on my new email at Yahoo, at least I know that people are getting my new email address, since I can't get onto my old Yahoo. So it's wessexbladesuk@yahoo.com. So if you email me your answer, and then please share this video on Facebook or some other genre somewhere, just give me a bit of a help out trying to get me awareness of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it out there. You know, there's only so much I can do on my own, you know, Instagram and everything else. So there's the pattern again. If you could email me your idea as to what it is and why I've done it, and then what I'll do is all the correct answers, hopefully some correct answers. I'll then do a draw, the usual thing, write the things, numbers down, and then name in a hat or random.org, and then the person, whoever comes out of that, will get that when it's completed, which is a ferro rod. It'll have a touch of brass on it, it'll have a nice lander, and it'll have a striker, and I'll post it. So it's sort of nigh on 20 quid Buckshear price. Okay, so thanks for joining me again. A little bit of introduction of where I'm going and what I'm doing. As I say, there's going to be these two Puukos. At some point I want to offer them up for a bit of a road test, to get some feedback by someone who's sort of bushcrafty, as opposed to, you know, give it to someone who's big and powerful and they just go through whatever it is they're going to do with it anyway and achieve the same ends. But more of a purist bushcrafter, to just see how close to the market is for bushcraft, because I said the Puuko's my sort of design, but I still haven't really come out with a Woodlore clone yet.